In this video, we're going to demonstrate how you might introduce collaborative documentation during your first session with a client. This strategy can be used for any type of session, though we will show an in-office session. Additionally, the brief video titled Collaborative Documentation, Your Voice Matters in Treatment Documentation can help jumpstart this conversation with your clients. Check out the collaborative documentation section of the DNR website to share this video with your clients.
Okay, so now that we've covered the confidentiality and how the treatment process is going to look, I want to talk to you about an intervention that I use with my clients, and it's called collaborative documentation. So what this entails is at the end of each of our sessions together, we'll be reviewing what was discussed and summarizing, talking about key takeaways that you had and maybe I have as well, and actually entering that into the note. And then you'll have the chance to even review that note in the chart before you leave if you'd like. It gives us a chance to really keep on track with what your treatment goals are, make sure that I understand what you got from the session. Have you ever worked with somebody that uses collaborative documentation before?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Well, it might feel a little strange at first, but what I really hope it does is gives you a voice in your treatment record. And it also reduces just a one-sided perspective, which would be mine, and it's not my treatment, so it makes much more sense for you also to have that input into your record. And also, as I said, keeps us on track with the treatment goals and make sure that we're focusing on what's important to you. Do you have any questions about that right now?
Yeah, so like, will you be typing during our sessions? My doctor does that and I do not like it. Like, sometimes she won't even look at me because she's in her computer.
Absolutely, that's understandable and also a common concern that I get. Just to assure you, I will not have my computer out except for the very beginning of session. I'll just be referencing what we talked about the last time to make sure that it's still on track with what we want to address that session. Then I'm going to put that computer away and listen and have that gone while we're doing our therapy session together. And then I will be just bringing that back out so we can document together at the end of the session.
Okay, so how long will this take within my session? Will it take a lot of time?
Well, while it takes a few minutes, again, it's just that summary at the end of the session. So if you've been in therapy before, a lot of times the treatment provider will provide a summary of what was discussed and key takeaways at the end of the session. So it's going to be like that. The only difference is you're going to have that opportunity to discuss your own key takeaways, and then I'm going to be putting that into the chart as we're talking about that. So it shouldn't take much more time than it usually has to summarize the session.
Okay.
If you're still unsure, let's give it 3 to 4 sessions, and I'll check back in after the 4th session, see how it's going. If you're feeling uncomfortable or not, if it's not useful to you, then we can always stop. How does that sound?
Okay, that works for me.
Okay, great. So we've been working together for 4 sessions, and as I had told you our first time together, I wanted to just check back in on the collaborative documentation and how that's been going for you.
Yeah, so at first I really wasn't that sure about it. I was a little iffy on if it was something that I wanted to do, but I definitely see the benefit. I appreciate how we're able to talk through things and I'm able to be a part of the documenting process. It was one important thing that stood out to me was when we were talking a few weeks ago and you documented my sister when it was actually my sister-in-law. So being able to clarify that information really meant a lot to me. And although it may take a lot of time sometimes, I understand the purpose and it helps make sure that we have everything written down correctly.
Great. Okay, so what I'm hearing is you were unsure at first, but it's something that you're okay to keep using. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely. I would definitely like to be a part of this process. I think that, even with writing the last note and remembering, going back and discussing what we discussed 2 weeks ago in my meeting and then coming back to that note before the session, it definitely was able to help me bring everything together, and it allowed me to kind of assess what I was feeling the last time before coming into this conversation today and seeing what was important and why it was important to me.
Great. Okay, well that leads us to today's session then.
For more ideas on phrases to use when introducing collaborative documentation, check out the Phrases and Prompts Implementing Collaborative Documentation Google slide located in the Collaborative Documentation section of the DNR library, where you can find all of the other relevant resources.